As long as it's hands-free, what's the next step in One Piece? The next step in power in One Piece is God Hockey. We've already gone through God Valley. We have Conquerors Hockey and Advanced Conquerors Hockey. We know that Advanced Conquerors Hockey is a combination of Armament Hockey and Conquerors Hockey. We know from the film Red movie that Advanced Cancellation, or what is it called? Powerful Presence, what is it called? Permanence of Presence or Divine Presence is a combination of Observation Hockey and Conquerors Hockey. Now, what if you put all three together? That's 3 in 1, that's God Hockey. And we know that One Piece has a lot of Christian references and is a very Christ-centered narrative story. Even though it is a secular story, it's not about Jesus, but it has a message. So message means gospel, evangelion. It has an evangelion. There's a lot of anime that does this. A lot of anime have evangelions. They have messages, right? As opposed to like secular media or content, which doesn't have a message. You just watch it for fun, or you just listen to it for fun, right? Meaningless. It's meaningless music, or it's a meaningless show, doesn't mean anything. But then there are shows that really do have meanings intended within the narrative by the author, like Evangelion, which means gospel, right? Neon Genesis Evangelion, which means the beginning of the new gospel, or the beginning of the good news. That's actually what it means. It's probably the first, I'll estimate, from the Japanese to the English, that Mark chapter 1 verse 1 says this is the beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ. And so in Japanese it could mean Neon Genesis Evangelion. Even though this is not a Japanese word, this is probably a Greek word or a Latin word, Neon Genesis Evangelion. But to a Japanese-speaking audience, the title of Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's how Robin Williams says, oh, Neon Genesis Evangelion. So de na 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 dun 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 dun. As a message, right? One Piece is the same way. One Piece has an Evangelion. One Piece has an Evangelion. One Piece has a Neon Genesis Evangelion. It has a grand narrative about Christ and the outpouring of the world. About Christ in the world. About Christ in the world. It's a message about Christ and the world, or about Jesus pouring himself out on the earth. It's a very, very, very delicate message. You know, One Piece is all about freedom from an oppressive government. The Bible talks about an oppressive world government that's going to rule the earth when the Antichrist takes control. That's what the Bible talks about. Let's connect One Piece narrative about the world government being freed from the oppression of the Gorosei and Im Sama. Im represents the Antichrist, right, who is revealed in the world. In the same way that the Antichrist takes control of the world in the Bible, Im Sama takes control of the world in One Piece. So it's about an oppressive world government that's ruling the world as gods. In the same way, the Bible speaks about an oppressive world government, a new world order that is being run by satanic elites that rule the world as gods. In the same way, the Bible says that the world is run by the evil one, or that Satan is the god of this world. So One Piece has this quite unambiguous reference. It's not ambiguous at all for me. It's quite unambiguous that I can actually watch One Piece without any guilt, because this reference, this tied directly to Christianity, is unambiguous, right? Like consciously. Like, I know that the Marines, even though they're a force for good because Kobe's a Marine, they're corrupt by an evil world government and devil fruits. They're corrupt by devil fruits. We know that the pirates are using devil fruits, and this isn't good. But then we learn that even the Marines are using devil fruits, right? And so the Marines are just as corrupt as pirates are in One Piece. When we first get a glimpse of the devil fruit users in One Piece, our first devil fruit using Marine, Vice Admiral Smoker, it's the plume fruit, and now his body turns into smoke whenever he wants. And so he's a smoker and a devil fruit user. Right? So we know that the Marines are corrupt indeed, because they're using devil fruits, and the sea hates them. If the Marines are a corporate body, for example, if they're like a pirate crew, right? A pirate crew is one body and one ship. Imagine the Marines are one ship as well. If one's bad, then they're all bad. It's not a bad egg in a bunch. It's a spoiled fruit in the middle of rotten ones. In this way, in the same way, the world is the same way. Is if average people in the world have corrupt religion, now we see that the government has corrupt religion as well, right? Because of separation of church and state. We know that the government is just as corrupt as the people are. In the same way, so that connection between One Piece and real world events is unambiguous. Keyword today is unambiguous. So what's the next step in power in One Piece? Haki. Now that we know that Haki controls the world, that's what Kaido says, that Haki controls the world when he fights Luffy, who turns into Joy Boy in his Nika fruit awakening. We can even say that Bonnie's age fruit is also a Nika fruit, a human fruit model Nika, a Nika fruit. Right? She probably her devil fruit name is probably also hit Bonnie in the recent episodes in the last couple months. Revealed that her awakening in the manga a couple of years ago already. The manga revealed that Bonnie's awakening is also Nika. So Luffy is Nika and Jewelry Bonnie is also Nika. So there's two Nika models. So that means that Bonnie's fruit is the human fruit. Model some kind of Nika. Just like Luffy's gum fruit is human fruit model Nika, revealed in Wano versus Kaido by the Gorosei. I don't think Luffy even knows yet. He still believes that he's a gum fruit user in his most free form. Probably the devil fruit user knows the name of the fruit when he eats it, but he calls it the gum fruit because it means something more than meets the eye. In the same way, Bonnie has the age fruit and knows the name of her fruit beyond what meets the eye for us as well, because of the Nika awakening. Because she's Nika as well, because she has a Nika punch. So it's a Nika fruit. It's a Nika zone. She has the mythical zone as well. We thought that Bonnie had the paramecia type of age, but now we know that she's a zone type, just like Luffy is. So we know this, that this is because of Haki, right? Because the whole thing about Nika is about Haki. Joy Boy, Nika, and Luffy, and now Bonnie, with the backstory regarding Bartholomew Kuma, who's waiting for Joy Boy or Nika, is about Haki. Why? Because in the recent episode that's about to be uploaded right now on Netflix, after the time of this recording, actually probably tonight or today at the night of this recording, we see that the Iron Giant, the Iron Golem, is containing within himself Joy Boy's Haki. Not any kind of Haki, his Conqueror's Haki. And so we're using the word Haki in general to convey the Conqueror's Haki. The Conqueror's Haki, the Conqueror's power spirit. So Nika, because he has the strongest Haki, right? That means that Nika or Joy Boy, we've already made this connection. Nika and Joy Boy are the same thing because of the elephant, because of what Zunisha said. That Joy Boy's Haki rules the world. Why? Because it's stronger than the 5 Elder Stars. And the 5 Elder Stars, because it rebukes all 5 of them, and they're one with Im-sama, that must mean that Joy Boy's Haki is stronger than Im-sama's Haki. That means that Joy Boy runs the world. Joy Boy rules the world because of his Conqueror's Haki, because it's the strongest. He has the strongest Conqueror's Haki. It's like a fruit in a basket, you know. you can say like, oh, it was just strong because it was a bunch of hockey stored up in the Iron Giant. Actually, we don't even know if that was all of his hockey. That could have been just like a little glimpse of him in the past from the future, his power. Right? Talking about Joy Boy. That means that Joy Boy has a special kind of hockey which rebukes God, right? Because the five older stars, the Gorosei and Imsama, are God, or gods. That's why they have a pentagram, because the pentagram represents image bearedness, or God. Now, this isn't really much of a secret. We know that the pentagram, or the star, has 5 points, just like a human being has 5 points on his body: his head, his shoulders, knees, and toes. Right? His head, shoulders, and knees. Right? So like his head, his arms, and his feet. Right? Like a guy making a star. If you've ever done a cartwheel, you become a star. That means that they're hosts, which means that they're equivalent to God. Even in the Bible, it's like this. The Bible says you are gods, but you shall die like men and fall like any prince. That's why they can die and they can bleed, because they're called Elohim, or creators. They're the creators of this world. They're the creators of the One Piece world. Just like the Elohim are the rulers and judges, the creators of the government in the world that we live under. Government means world. Right? So Satan is the god of this world. Why? Because Satan created this world, this government world that we live in the Bible. In the same way, One Piece is making an unambiguous tie. Now we see that the world is competing for rulership, for kingship. All the worst generation, the supernova and the emperors, are competing for crowns. They're competing for kingship in order to become king of the world, just like Davy D. Zebek. Davy D. Zebek. Or Davy Jones. Most likely Davy Jones tried to be the king of the world, so Davy is back, or Davy D. Zebek is also competing for the throne of the world. And now Davy D. Teach, so now Davy, Marshall D. Teach, or because Blackbeard or Marshall D. Teach is the son of Davy D. Zebek, or Rox D. Zebek. He's the son of Rox, or this name Rox. Davy is the son of Davy Jones, or the son of Davy is back. Now Davy is teaching the world about kingship, about Joy Boy, and about the king of the world, and about Imsam. Blackbeard is Davy D. Teach. Davy D. Teach. That's his real name. And so Davy D. Teach, perhaps Davy Jones, was Joy Boy's rival in the same way Blackbeard is Luffy's rival. In the same way Rox was Roger's rival. So Luffy is to Blackbeard, as Roger is to Rox, as Joy Boy is to Davy Jones. And there are real Age of Exploration equivalents as well. Blackbeard, for example, is Edward Thatch, from who was a pirate back in the Age of Exploration, for example. And so there are many different historical equivalents that Eiichiro Oda is pulling out of history for his creativity, for his inspiration. And even though I don't really believe that Eiichiro Oda is a Christian, I don't know if he's baptized or if he was baptized as a kid, or maybe he was a Catholic. He's a Japanese Catholic, because there is a Japanese church, right? There's Japanese Catholicism and Japanese church. There's baptism in Japan. There's Catholicism in Japan, where Japanese people are baptized as babies. But I don't know if Eiichiro Oda is born again. Probably not, because he still engages with the stuff of this world. Absolutely not, because he's 100% engaging with the things of the world. Right? So he's not born again. But it is fruitful to say that Eiichiro Oda is confronting spiritual matters with logic, with human logic, which is inspiring his creativity. Human logic is called history. Whenever you're appealing to human logic, you're talking about history. What's the history here? That's logical. So it's frightening to you and oppressive. Why? Because it's harmful, right? It's trying to harm you to make you submit to the idea of power, history. Right? So Oda's connecting history to art and is being inspired. So another trinity. Because of this, Oda is definitely being inspired by Christianity because of all the crosses. So the world is a cross. There's 4 blues: north blue, east blue, south blue, west blue, and a grand line that crosses the world. Right? So the whole world's a cross. Right? And across the tree, so the whole world is a tree. Right? Just theology, you can make predictions based on theology. It actually makes the story quite simple if you look at it from a theological lens. Is that the whole world is on top of a mountain, and that mountain has a tree, and that tree has 2 types of fruits. You can either take the devil fruit or the God fruit, right, for example. Why? Because there's pirates and Marines, right? There's devils and gods, right? And so there's devil fruit users and God fruit users. So what's the God fruit user? Hockey. So let's predict that hockey is a type of fruit. It's a fruit of effort rather than a fruit of knowledge. That you take the fruit and you know its name, or you work hard and you bear fruit about things that you don't know, like hockey, for example. And so if hockey has 3 types, then devil fruits have 3 types as well: paramecia, zoan, and logia. Just like hockey has 3 types: observation, armament, and conquers. And then there's mixing of the types, like mythical zones, like Mark of the Phoenix, who's like a logia, paramecia, and zoan at the same time, called the mythical fruits. And there's probably a mythical type of hockey as well, called God hockey, for example. It'd be God hockey, because Oda uses the word God a lot in One Piece. So it's a reference to Marines. Marines are using mostly hockey in order to rule the world. And so it could be posited that this future new type of hockey, the next level of power in One Piece, is called God hockey, combining observation hockey, armament hockey, and conquerors hockey all at once. And we've already seen it, but Oda displays it all the time. He displays the power before he names it, always, as a mystery, right? So you can predict it, to make a fan community on the internet. It's been like this ever since the internet gained popularity with chat rooms in the 1990s, to make predictions and fan theories and headcanons. We've already seen this type of hockey named the Divine series, the divine departure, for example. The first time we see it is Gold Roger uses Kamusari, which is divine departure. And so I would estimate that this attack that Roger is using as the king of the pirates, as the god of the world, right, as the god of the world, is a sword swipe covered in God hockey, covered in observation, armament hockey, and conquerors hockey at the same time. Kamusari. He swipes away and sweeps the opponent and moves him all the way to a tree to crash into something, for example. And Shanks uses the same exact attack, where he goes with Griffin, right? He covers himself in Griffin, and sometimes it could be only possible with a sword swipe using a legendary grade weapon, for example, because a legendary grade weapon is a type of god as well, because it's the highest supreme grade. Supreme grade means god, or kami in Japanese. The katana has a supreme grade, which is called a kami. In the same way, we can talk about kami later, how the devil fruit have kami in them, and the swords have kami in them as well, and the hockey is kami as well, and Im-sama is kami-sama, is kami, right? Is kami-sama in this way, in a cognitive way. And so Shanks uses this divine departure, Kamusari, in the same way, to make kid crash into a nest.